Well, okay, I'm Audio. This is Daibanchou, and we're moving along pretty well. Oh, Heita's getting lost in the pyramid now. Um, so I did research, and everything's fine for Van Dane, and for Sparn, everything is fine as well. He should just do stuff to the elves that are unspeakable, and then he'll join. More or less, it'll just happen. But Heita goes missing in the pyramid, and this really bothered me at first because because this is where I first lost Heita the first time I played. I thought, oh god, what if he's actually dead? I was kind of sad, but he's fine. Spoilers, he's fine. Yeah, well, you just gotta go activate him again in the pyramid, exactly like I did in the forest land. Should be, oh yeah, okay, that's cool. Let me turn off the skip and then talk to them again, or have them talk, rather, for some new dialogue. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going, though, as planned, and as far as Van Dane goes, recruiting him won't be until much later. Probably around the time when the last enemy faction shows up in the game. So, that's how that goes. Yeah, otherwise, I don't have much more to say until we start fighting the Nightmare Eyes, I guess. So, which will probably be this turn. I have to decide on a thing. I might go for Hawaii first. I might just leave that until I have the option for Sparn to show up. I don't know if I have to possess Hawaii to recruit him or not. So, it doesn't really matter either way, to be honest. Oh yeah, I forget to click. Heita's gone missing in the pyramid, and then they briefly speak about it. Yeah. So now you know what I'm planning on doing. I don't think I have anyone in the conversation phase that is a priority. Of course, those things slip my mind, and I tend to just forget. While I was on the wiki looking up what I needed to do for Sparn exactly, because I have obtained him before, but I'd forgotten. I was looking at what I needed, and I realized that I said in previous parts that I was going to be recruiting someone from the school phase that had to do with the library book. Now, I can still do that, but Roga's health has to drop to 19, and I don't really care. Like, that character is so minor now. And that's kind of how this game works. There are so many characters in it, people from the very beginning tend to get excruciatingly unimportant, And that sounds shit, but it is what it is. And there's something else that I've been neglecting for a while as well that is a big deal, and I can't believe no one called me out on this. I haven't been building curry wolves, which, oh my god. Don't do what I was doing and neglect to build those. They're so important. I mean, there are other useful buildings, I guess, but I'm not ever going to make them. Just make sure you produce the curry wolves. And I still have, 19 BP. That's not good. That's not good at all. Okay, I need to make it 20, so we're going to do public service. Hopefully I can find 1 BP somewhere. So that way I may attack and defend. And then I guess I'd sleep with Sane or something and get a free 50. Whatever. And now I'm kind of looking at what to do. These events will show up occasionally. Nip rebellion in the bud. You gotta do that, or randomly it'll spur like a rebellion, The territory will still be yours, but it'll be under attack by like shit units, and it's tedious, and I'm not going to do it right now. I'm just going to let it happen if it ends up happening. I have more important things to do. I need to suppress the pyramid and search for Heita, and I guess I'll search for him because that gives me more manpower immediately. But if you suppress the pyramid, you can recruit a mummy, and she's one of the most attractive characters in the game, and she's actually surprisingly good. If any of you are experienced with her at all, when you first get her, she's not a very good unit, but I mean, if you use her a little bit, and if you use her intelligently, she has low stamina, but she's she gets fairly high attack power, and I mean, she has decent evasion, and I think she's a good unit, aside from her low stamina. But I'll go over that once I recruit her, because I fully intend to recruit Mummy-chan. So, she has very funny dialogue. But you can only deploy her in like half of the territories in the whole game, because, you know, her funny dialogue explains why. So, I'll just leave it, and we'll see later. But now I have Heita again, and that's great. Alright. Alright, Kyudo. You're obviously unhappy with the world, so I'll talk to you. Oh, I clicked Kendo? Huh? Oh, okay. See, I got trolled just like Roga did. See there? Cool. But, yeah. So, I don't know, they're still boring. Both these characters are boring to me. I don't have anything to say about either of them. And the Nightmare Eyes, I gotta just wait. Though I should be bordering the Mu territory now, and that's also a hilarious spot, which I will attack. At least once. I probably won't take over the Mu land. I don't know. It's not like a meaningful... It's the northernmost territory connected to me right now. That's a fucking horrible way to explain anything. Like, okay, yeah, I'll just show you. I'll just fucking show you. And I can't pay... Oh, I can. I can pay for her loyalty. Where did I get the other 50 BP from? What? Oh, well, I don't... You know, I'm just so unaware. Okay, this is the Mu territory. It has the Mu people who live here. It's a funny territory, and I will take it eventually, maybe. Yeah, a lot of definite answers there going out today. And I guess I'll just abandon Roga and send Kunagi there as well. This is the territory you don't want Ren to go in. Aomori, you don't want him going there. So let me remove him or he'll die. I don't know if I'll show his death thing in a later part, but this territory I believe is also the one where Daigo goes missing. It might be a territory adjacent to this one, but I'll send him here just in case. And Yoki won't go, Toma will go. That will be perfect. And I'll station some people here just to keep the order. You know how it goes. Several people. And I'll go over my finances and things in the next turn, probably. I wish I could do that off screen a little better, but I can't. Well, now we're actually fighting the Nightmare Eyes, and this is one of their generic units in the first couple territories. They have, you know, they're mid-range fighters. They're reasonably strong. You should be able to handle them without any real problems. Tomoka nearly one-shots these guys. She makes it so they're 100% captured, which also great. You know, I can use extra money. But, yeah. Mid-range fighter, Kunagi's badass. She won't take the hit. Watch, right? Reliable. It's gonna be another one of those guys. Yeah, I want to try and capture that girl, but I think everything I have will one-shot her. So, I'm not gonna be capturing her now, anyway. I'm talking about the archer girl at the bottom. You need one of those to recruit Van Dane. So, I'll try to capture one eventually. Yeah. There are a lot of opportunities to get those girls, though, so I'm not too concerned about that. Now that I've attacked them, they should start, you know, like, story events will start taking place, and the main fighters will start showing up. I don't remember his name, but there's a large construct created by Kibito, and that starts showing up, and it's got like 300 health. It's a pain in the ass, but you can deal with it. Again, it'll start showing up soon. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because they're just establishing the atmosphere, you know, of the Nightmare Eyes. I can't really talk about that. Not really. I mean, I can say that they feel dark and vampire-y, but what does that do? You know, what does that mean? It doesn't really mean anything. So, yeah. It is exactly what it is. Interestingly, Camilla's fingernails there are her blood. That's her blood that she hardened, I guess. As a vampire, she has control over blood, too. I don't know. But, yeah. She has a... Well, actually, this isn't really spoilers or anything, because... No, it is spoilers. I'll just... It's any scene now. Any scene with the vampires now will unveil what I almost unveiled, so I should just leave it, you know? Yeah. But these first two territories that you attack, the one connected to Almery, you don't have to go there. And I might go there later on, but I probably won't do it while it's under the Nightmare Eyes control. You know what I'm saying? I'll just leave it. And it's probably my least favorite territory in the game as well, which, again, I know it's weird to have a preference, but I have a favorite territory, and I guess now I have a least favorite one. So... that's whatever. I mean, it has a prison there. Like, a territory with a prison as a primary building, that's probably a shitty place. So, I don't know what else to say about that. This Miller girl, she's really pitiful, and I feel bad for what she is. Like, people like this aren't real, right? You know? I mean... it's just weird. It's one of those fictional characters that really, truly adores and loves their higher-up, but their higher-up despises them and loathes them. I mean, I don't think that that's real. I don't think people respond to each other that way. Ever, you know? So, it just makes me feel bad for her. And the way that Miller's drawn, too, you know? She just looks so pathetic. Like, you know, actually, I guess that's true, too. I can comment that Alisoft typically draws their characters, you know, in a way that correlates to their personality. That might be something that's a given, right? You'd assume that people do that all the time, but that's not true. I mean, there are intentional deceptions when characters are drawn, you know, but a lot of unintentional ones as well. And especially with anime and shit, it's always their eyes. It's pretty much the entire way that you can tell what a person is like is based on their eyes. And their shape. That's really all. I mean, it is the most exaggerated feature on their face, so that's how it goes. That's part of why I like the art style, but I don't know why I'm talking about this now. It just kind of slipped up and was there. Miller attacks you. She's not a unit that you can use, and I don't think you actually fight Miller. You don't fight her, but you fight her subordinates, I guess you'd call them. She just summons and controls bats. And they always attack the same territory in your land, but it comes like... Again, I'll have to show you on the map. It's not... I can't really explain it, so I'll show you later. And this guy, this fuck-ass, the Daibanchou, he's a bad unit. He's a bad unit, and he's not one of the easier ones to obtain. I mean, he's not hard to obtain, you know? Like, once you know how to do it, it's not hard. It's just that, like, when I say something is hard to obtain in this game, and Sengoku Rants, and pretty much any Alisoft game, when I say that a character is hard to obtain, I basically mean on your first playthrough without any knowledge, you know? If you're just trying to, you know, you see the Daibanchou, he's kind of unique, right? He's a cat thing. Maybe that you like that, I guess, and you really want to obtain him. Well, that's too bad if you're in Senna's route. He's not obtainable in Senna's route, and there's no way in fuck you're going to figure out how to recruit him on your own the first time you're playing through Kunagi's route. There is no way you would do that. You've got to, like, buy some items from Akihabara and talk to him again when he's in your prison. I don't know. I've never done it, but he's still shit, and that's why. I don't even like the way the Daibanchou looks. So, this Daimon guy, he is the construct I mentioned earlier, he's made by Kibito, I guess, and you have to fight him 3 times. He's big, strong, short range, hits really hard. I don't think he has a high counter chance, if one at all, and he's really easy to manage if you're not playing risky, you know. So, I'll probably hit him with mid-range fighters and shit just because. But, yeah. You have to defeat that construct 3 times before Kibito shows up in combat, and you can capture him. That's important. Like I said, I'd like to capture Kibito. Daimon I will not recruit. You can believe that. I don't like the way Daimon looks. I don't like the way he plays. I don't like his story, I guess. He doesn't really have a story. But he's also just obnoxious to recruit and deal with in general, so I won't. But yeah, you fight the Daibanchou later on too. In Camilla's dungeon, you fight him actually in like the last vestige of Transylvania, which again is weird. But I mean, I don't even think they elaborate on where he comes from. He's just there. So probably in my bottom 3 units in the game, the Daibanchou is. I really, really, truly dislike him. So that's really it there. Yeah, and I mean, he doesn't even attack you. He's just kind of like, he's not in the overworld map phases for battle at all. I think he's just in the dungeon, which, you know, he's not actually helping the cause at all, so I don't know why he's real. But yeah, these dialogues with the NPI are not nearly as long. I don't actually know why these are so huge. I'm not particularly upset or anything, but it's still strange. And I'm also moving pretty quickly. Typically on your first playthrough, I doubt that you would be at the Nightmare Eyes by the turn that I am. Yeah, so it's not like a diss or something, but it's just true, you know. If you take over the Nightmare Eyes by a certain turn, another unit becomes available, and I wasn't planning on having that option available to me, but it may be, and I forgot which turn it is exactly, but if it pops up, I'll take advantage of it. It's an animal-loving woman, so I mean, it's interesting, it's whatever, you might see it in this playthrough. I guess I can elaborate on that too. There are a lot of characters in this game. I mean, a lot. There are a lot of options, and I'm obviously not gonna, be able to show you them all. I'm playing in a way that I'm comfortable with, I'm doing things that I have done in the past on my own, basically. It's similar to how I played through Sengoku Rants, I'm going through the territories that I went through in the order I went through them on my first successful playthrough, and I'm trying to expand on how well I did by obtaining more characters. I didn't get Sparn on my first playthrough. I didn't get the elves. Shit like that, so you're aware. But Miller doesn't do anything until you get to the second to last territory, maybe. And even then, maybe it's like a timed thing. I don't know. I'm unsure. And on another note, you have to capture the first territory in the Nightmare Eyes to start recruiting Sion. And I mentioned that I'll do that as soon as it's possible, because she's a heroine and she's important, and one of my favorite heroines, though I like them all except Sane, really. Huh. Whatever. But yeah, these guys give me, I guess, a good vibe. I like it when they're still on the map. I don't really like their... It's not a place I'd like to live, you know? The NPI is a place I'd like to live. And I just like them being here, you know? They're different. That's what I'm looking for. They're a contrast to the other factions in the game. The Nightmare Eyes are, so that's why I like them. Yeah. Holy Flame later on I don't like at all, but that's another shitfest we'll have to discuss when the time comes. So, you know, and I chose the route with the Holy Flame, but whatever. I mentioned this girl briefly in several parts ago. This is Kaguya. She's a cool unit. She's a mid-range fighter. I won't recruit her, and you probably won't see her in combat. So that's how that goes. And when you obtain her, she always comes with the same stats. A lot of characters are like this, and they appear weak if you obtain them late in the game. The first time I obtained Kaguya, she was already outclassed and done. Because she hadn't leveled up, she was not useful to me. But if you obtain her first, like if you go for the Nightmare Eyes early on in the game, and you obtain her, she can be a core unit for you. You know what I mean? It just depends how you do things. And that's one of the reasons a lot of people like Daibanchou, because there's a lot of freedom in how you go about beating it. But that aside, she's talking to the creature inside of her chest. I don't know if it's given a name. I think it introduces itself to Roga. But yeah, I mean, the scene... I don't know if it's this scene, but there's a scene where vampires try to attack Kaguya. And, you know, she defends herself with that thing in the coffin, the trunk. And they describe the scene, you know, in the scene it describes the thing as picking up the vampires and ripping them to pieces with its gigantic hands. And, that's creepy as hell, you know? So... But yeah, she does not get along well with Daigo when he's being a jackass, and that's why I'm not recruiting her. So, I'll see you guys in the next part.